WTA Week in Review, the Star of the Week, Breakthrough of the Week, and more. It was quite the busy week on the WTA Tour driven by Mercedes-Benz. The 128-player field at the Australian Open has been trimmed down to 8, with a star-studded group of quarterfinalists that should provide an epic finish to the first Grand Slam of 2026. Here's everything that went down this week on the WTA Tour, and the most notable moments that caught our eye. The star of the week, Aryna Sabalenka. In the absence of a champion on tour this week, this honor could go to any number of players. But we'll give it to world number 1 Sabalenka, who has yet to drop a set in Melbourne. In fact, she hasn't dropped a set all season, 18 straight to start the year. Her most recent win, a 6-1, 7-6, 1 victory over Victoria Mboko, sent her to the Australian Open quarterfinals for the 4th straight year, and she remains the favorite to win her 3rd Australian Open, the most inspiring performance of the week. Madison Inglis. This past week was nothing short of life-changing for the 28-year-old Australian, who's gained a ton of fans for her performance on court and vulnerability off it. After coming back from 2 match points down in her first qualifying match, the world number 168 won her next 2 matches to make the main draw. She then defeated her best friend, Kimberly Birrell, in a 3-hour battle in the first round, and after the match got emotional and real about the challenge of competing on this stage against someone she's so close to. Inglis won another wild 3-setter over Laura Siegemund in the second round, 10-7 in the 3rd set tiebreaker, and then advanced to the 4th round, a career best, after Naomi Osaka withdrew from their match with an abdominal injury. Her memorable run came to an end with a 6-0, 6-3 loss to Iga Swiatek. The rising star of the week, Iva Jovic. We've talked about Jovic as a rising star for some time now, but this week has been a breakthrough. The last teenager standing, outlasting both Mira Andreeva and Mboko, the 18-year-old has yet to drop a set in Melbourne, and her signature win was a 6-2, 7-6, 3 upset of 7th seed Jasmine Paolini. Jovic is into her first career Grand Slam quarterfinal, where she'll meet the stiffest test of her career in Sabalenka. The upset of the week, Nikola Bartankovic, Belinda Bencic, Australian Open 2nd round. Speaking of teenagers, how about 19-year-old Bartankova taking out 10th-seeded Bencic, who came into that match with a 12-match winning streak? The world number 126, who came through qualifying, was playing in her first Grand Slam main draw ever. Bartankova, who also beat Daria Kasatkina. The dominant match of the week, Iva Jovic d. Yulia Putintseva, Australian Open 4th round. Putintseva was absolutely fired up after defeating Zeynep Sonmez in front of a heavily pro-Sonmez crowd. But the world number 94 was no match for Jovic in her next match. The American rolled to a 6-0, 6-1 win in just 53 minutes. In doing so, she became the youngest American on the WTA Tour to reach the Australian Open quarterfinals since Venus Williams in 1998. The comeback of the week, Laura Siegemund d. Ludmila Samsonova, Australian Open 1st round. This one fell a bit under the radar, with so many matches happening around it, but the 37-year-old came from 6-0, 5-2 down, and saved 2 match points to knock off 18th seed Samsonova in the 1st round. The shot of the week, Coco's no-look pass. Pardon us for not yet mentioning Goff, who is into her 3rd straight Australian Open quarterfinal. The world number 3 looked great in her 4th round win over Karolina Muchova, especially during this point, which ended with a no-look forehand pass that wowed the crowd. The fashion statement of the week. Osaka's iconic fit. No-brainer here. Osaka delivered as only Osaka can, arriving to Rod Laver Arena in style with a parasol, a veil and a gigantic hat decorated with butterflies. The fit broke the internet, and the 4-time Grand Slam champion backed up the elaborate entrance on court with a 6-3, 3-6, 6-4 win over Antonia Ruzic. The stat of the week, Sabalenka sets a new standard for Grand Slam tiebreaks. How clutch is the world number 1? Sabalenka has now won 20 straight tiebreaks at Grand Slams, breaking the previous record held by Novak Djokovic. Sabalenka hasn't lost a tiebreak at a slam since the 2023 French Open. The four-time Grand Slam champion has won 3 tiebreaks already this week, 2 against Anastasia Potapova in the 3rd round and another against Mboko in the 4th. The social star of the week, Mira Andreeva. Andreeva was on point all week, cracking the crowd up with her antics before and after matches. Her reaction to the point between Alex de Minaur and Frances Tiafoe was priceless, and she also entertained herself by wheeling her coach around and making phantom phone calls. WTA week in review. The star of the week, breakthrough of the week, and everything in between. Every week on the WTA Tour tells a story. Sometimes it's a blockbuster sequel starring a familiar champion. Other times, it's the origin story of a new contender who refuses to stay anonymous. This week had a bit of everything: dominance, defiance, disappointment, and a reminder that women's tennis remains the most unpredictable, compelling theater in sports. Let's break it all down. White medium star of the week, the standard setter. The star of the week isn't just about lifting a trophy or racking up wins, it's about presence. The way a player walks onto court, absorbs pressure, and makes elite tennis look routine. This week, one player stood above the rest by doing exactly that. From the opening round onward, she played with a calm authority that bordered on intimidating. Big points? She wanted them. Tight sets? She owned them. What separated her from the pack wasn't flashy shot-making, though there was plenty of that, but her discipline. No panic when broken. No emotional dips after lost points. Just a steady, relentless application of pressure. Opponents tried to rush her, outmaneuver her, outthink her. None of it worked. Her footwork stayed sharp deep into matches, her serve held firm when needed most, and her decision-making was ice-cold under stress. In a tour defined by parity, she reminded everyone that consistency is still a superpower. This wasn't just a good week, it was a statement week. The message was clear: if you want to beat her, you'll need more than belief. You'll need near perfection. Seedling breakthrough of the week. A new name, loud introduction. Every WTA season produces at least one moment where fans collectively say, "Wait, who is this?" This week, that moment belonged to a fearless rising talent who arrived with zero interest in respecting reputations. Her breakthrough wasn't built on luck or soft draws. It was earned point by point against players who have lived in the top 20 and expect to win those matches. What made her run so compelling was the contrast between her ranking and her body language. She didn't play like someone grateful to be there. She played like someone who expected to stay.